restart this old heart.
There isn't one thing that's gonna launch you into fame and success, unless maybe it's like American Idol or something like that. It's more of like accruing lots of little opportunities and building on that and building on that, and that's always the way that I've worked. I wanted to get my music heard, and I wanted to take every opportunity they had. Everything from playing at like a winery where everybody's drunk and nobody is paying attention to you and they're taking pictures of you but in front of you, like with us in the background like we were zoo animals kind of, and an opening of a grocery store where there's old ladies walking around with their shopping carts not caring that you're standing there singing. And you do the things though, you gotta do these things because, you don't have to, I guess, but I did. I had a few songs on MySpace. A music supervisor found me and said, "We'd like to work with you." And I said, sure. I lived I had like roaches and mice sleeping in my bed next to me pretty much. So when anybody asked me that question, I was like, yes, of course. And most of the time, people would find you and promise things and nothing ever really happened. But with this one company, I was like, yeah, I'd love to. And they signed me up and then got my stuff in commercials, and that's really where I got, discovered by people, not in the industry, but just like regular people.
If you love me, would you finally understand that we're all blood brothers?
I think this record, I'm really singing out. I'm not holding back. My dad asked me where all the little cute songs were, and I was like, I didn't put any cute songs on this one, Dad. So there's no cute songs on it. At least I don't think there are any cute songs. I just feel like it's a little more ambitious. It's a little bit grandiose, a little bit more epic than the other things I've done. As of December, I had maybe like 8 or 9 songs, and I wasn't in love with any of them, but I was just not writing anything. And I had to kind of shift my thinking and find a new relationship with music. I think I was looking at it as like my savior, my partner, everything. I was very sort of sad and lonesome, and I'm not sad and lonesome anymore. So there's this thing where like, well, now what do I write about if I'm not depressed and lonely? And for a while I couldn't figure it out, and I was writing songs and they weren't really coming from a place that was real. And I thought, maybe this is it. Maybe I'm just done. And I had to shift my thinking and storytell, make things up, because a lot of times everything was from my experiences. And once I kind of figured that out, I wrote I think on my record there's 13 songs, and 2 of them were from the previous 8 that I had, and all the other ones I wrote in a matter of 3 months. I think inspiration just, for me, it comes from inside somewhere in a strange place that I can't identify, and it does go away, which is the scary thing. But so far, it always comes back. A lot of times my music is used in commercials and it's lighthearted and, funny or sweet, but the Dear Sophie Google Chrome ad is just achingly, wonderfully sad and happy at the same time.
Are you ready for your big party today?
The first time I saw it, I was just blown away by it. I sent a link to my whole family and my brother, and he texted me the next morning. He's like, "Thanks for making me cry at 8 a.m. I was like, I know, it's just so lovely. And the way they used the instrumental, it was just this perfect combination. I was so impressed, and I was just so thankful that I could be involved in a way with this wonderful company and with that ad. I don't even feel like it's an ad. I feel like it's like a mini film.
That you don't need me, but you won't leave me. My love's too big for you, my love.
I have somewhat of a silly personality, and I don't take myself very seriously, and not to say that I don't think that I am a serious songwriter. I think that I am. I'm very lighthearted, at least in shows and with my fans, and so I wanted to do a making of the record. But the making of the record, everybody does a making of the record, and they're somber and they're looking off into the distance and they're talking about inspiration and all that cocky. And so I was like, well, we can do that, but why don't we do everything with sock puppets? So I can say all those pretentious things that I really do mean, but from a sock puppet, I mean, how funny is that? So we put a call out to all my, followers on Twitter and everything and online, and we're like, hey guys, do you want to design an Ingrid Michaelson sock? It's so bad, it's so cheesy, but That was what was so funny to me. And we had a whole bunch of entries, and we picked one. She mailed it out to us, and she got some little prize, like some CDs and a T-shirt or something like that. And then I made the rest of the socks. And yeah, I talk about my inspiration, talk about the record. You have like B-roll of me, my sock, playing the piano and singing, and my producer talking, and it's really funny. But I like including the people that buy my music, because that's the world we live in now, you know? I mean, it's a little crazy, though, because if I had what kids have now growing up, I mean, I would have been, like, writing to Luke Perry every single day, like, redeem me, bring me back, I love you, I love you, I love you so much, I love 90210 so much, you know? I feel like they're very lucky, but at the same time, it's kind of the way it is now, and you don't have to, but for me, again, I have to include them and make them feel like I'm somewhat accessible, you know? It can backfire sometimes. People think that they're a little too close to you, and then it gets creepy. I kind of had to figure out, like, what kind of online personality I could take on, because you can't be, like, talking about how sad you are and divulging this, like, personal, you know, these personal feelings too much. Let the music do that, you know? So I figured it out, and mostly I just talk about, like, poop and food, and that works out well for me.
The moon breaks up.
Ending on poop and food. That's very apropos for me.